Okay, so I've had enough people and friends asking me to, instead of just putting still pictures up, try and put up some videos of the stuff I do in my spare time. Instead of doing important stuff, I come outside and I rescue flowers. These are daffodils that were way back on our property where, by the looks of it, there was a house or some structure years back. There's a stone wall and everything. And these were just like, in pinpoints, all in strategic areas where you could tell they didn't just land there. Bulbs just don't land through, fly through the air. Trucks do behind me, even though this is so-called farm. But it's my farm. 2 acres of nobody else's. Anyway, so been wanting to rescue these daffodils for like 2 years now, but every time I had the chance to get them, they stopped blooming and all the other stuff around it grew up. So couldn't even identify them or find them. So this year I was damn sure that as soon as they bloomed and everything else was still dead on the ground, we went out there and dug them up. So I dragged my son out there and we pulled up at least 5 big and 2 smaller little patches of these daffodils that my wife loves. And when she gets home from work, I'm going to ask her where she wants us to plant them, because I know she had mentioned out front, but I don't know exactly where. And for the other people out there who are as natural but stupid as me, we have these brambles, these wild raspberry that grow back there in chunks in between all the other plants, of course. So if you want to walk through the reeds back there, the overgrowth, you're going to walk smack into tiny little thorns at some point. But they're tiny, but they're delicious, and they're naturally here, so why not make use of them? So I'm, trying to salvage some of them too, because I want to clear that small area back there eventually to have more, open space on our property. But I don't want to clear it all, and I do want to try and salvage some of the clusters of these, little raspberries or brambles. So I took a few of these. At some point I'll grab some others. We're dying in the heat right now, even though it's only April. And then the other thing I was taking still pictures of is these trees here. Don't mind, that's my neighbor's house, but we don't have that much space here. These trees are ones I bought last year, but we didn't have time to get in the ground because between work and my lazy ass, we didn't get them in the ground. We had a few that died because of the Japanese beetles last summer. They love my cherry trees. No matter what you try and put on them organic, they still, whatever. They killed one tree completely, a nice big one. Year old, year for me, but so these are the ones we didn't have time to get in the ground last summer. And I was hoping they'd make it through the winter above ground in pots, and I'll be damned they did. The 2 up front here, these are the cherries, sweet cherries. And if I can get on the right angle out of the sun, they're already blooming beautifully. There aren't even that many clusters on the tree, maybe a dozen, but they're clusters nonetheless. And that's more than anything I've had in the ground so far yet. So these 2 are cherries. And then we got a plum here. The leaves on them always grow right out, of these cluster points. Just as I've noticed most, things do when they're first blooming from the summer. And then we got 3 more apples here actually to put in the ground. Got about a dozen of them, but they're blooming beautifully. Or should I say, the leaves are starting to grow beautifully. And then this beauty here is one of the peaches. This one is contender, which everything I've read, it should be a good contender for this climate. But these beautiful flower buds, they bloom first thing before anything else. They're just, the buds are ready. You can see the buds swelling before anything else. And then before anything else, in terms of trees or fruits or vegetables, they're just like the first ones to open, even up here in the north. And we're having freezing nights and everything, and that worries me if they last much longer. But these buds just start like swelling at the end of March, and then they just start blooming before anything else, and they're absolutely beautiful. The closer you look at them, I don't know how good my video can get or my angles can get, but they're absolutely beautiful clusters here. So that's that for now. We'll see what I'm dumb enough to video next, and in the meantime, hopefully someone learned something from my babbling. But this is what I do. I don't like killing things. I like using things that I can reuse when I can, and what can feed us without poisoning us. But either way, the less things I have to kill, the better. All the flowers that everyone else considers weeds, I'm showing my daughter where they came from and how they're growing. Like even these little guys here in the bottom of the cherry pot, these tiny little flowers. They started blooming last week. I don't know if you can see them, but my daughter's like, "What are those?" I said, "Well, everyone else will call them weeds. They got there by something blowing in the wind somehow, and we didn't put them there. Nature put them there, and they started growing. Other people would call them weeds and pull them out, but they're beautiful to me, aren't they? They're they're tiny little flowers. So why kill it? If it's sucking the life out of one of my, other plants, that's a different story. But these are tiny compared to a tree. Why should I kill them? They ain't doing anything wrong. They're just doing their thing. So that's my philosophy. Practically Buddhist. I'm not wanting to kill things. Unless you're threatening my family, that's a different story. So that's it for now. If anyone wants to post responses, if you see this, tell me, because I am not exactly the public person most of the time. I don't trust my own voice, don't like, a lot of things, but I figure, just like at work, I got all this knowledge and extra shit trapped in my head. I might as well try and share it with people, and maybe they can learn something. I'm no master of everything. But the things I do, I try to know what I'm doing. And next time maybe I'll do a video on the solar panels that we just had installed, which I'm so far very happy with. Not as big as, setup as I wanted, but so far they're doing wonderful. See, even the little bees are ready. Can I focus on you? Let's see. There you are. And I hate bees and anything that sting, by the way, but when it's doing its job on my plants, I don't care. Let them be. We wouldn't have anything without them anyway. Take care, everyone, and let me know what you think of me and all this. Thank you. Bye-bye.